So, no dispute about the need to adjust public sector wages. The problem is, can it be done to the extent that the government has promised, 50%? It's quite unusual in Europe to see wages being increased by 50%. What perhaps could have been, what could have been better, would have been done successive rounds of wages in the order of 10% at the beginning of the year, middle of the year, or at the end of the year. But the problem is simply this: to burden the government with additional expenditures. These will be recurrent expenditures, because every year will be the public sector bill will be higher. You need additional revenues. So where do the revenues come from? There may be possibilities to find efficiency gains in tax and customs collection, but ultimately it will be for the government and the IMF to find a way out of this. If the IMF is content with the proposals that the government will make in finding revenue, then that would be very positive. If not, there is a risk that the program with the IMF will be broken, and that a number of loans and grants from the international community will be withheld. And that's something I'm sure you will agree we all want to avoid.
Thank you. Over here.
Hello, I'm Shan Munisi, freshman student here at GATE. I've got two questions. First off, how is it possible for the European Union to organize a dialogue between Kosovo and Serbia when it is known that the European Union itself has a neutral stance towards Kosovo? For the fact that 5 of its members still haven't recognized the Kosovo independence. The second question is Kosovo eligible of filing certain conditions throughout the dialogue? Filing certain conditions throughout the dialogue.
Yeah, fulfill some sort of conditions.
Filing.
Present conditions.
Yes. Well, on the first, as I've said in my remarks, the basis for the dialogue, as proposed by the European Union, is that both Serbia and Kosovo will benefit each in equal measure from the dialogue, provided, of course, everybody is positive and is constructive. That means that Kosovo will advance and will come closer to the European Union. It will mean that the 5 non-recognizing countries will have to consider accepting that Kosovo will be a beneficiary of a number of programs and arrangements that the Commission has in mind. Now, the most important one is visa liberalization, which is not only for the Commission to decide, but also for a number of member states who have legitimate concerns about the free movement of people, about asylum seekers and so on. So it may take a while, but trade measures and inclusion of Kosovo in a number of programs should be possible, and I am convinced that Baroness Ashton and her team will make sure that Kosovo will get the rewards and the benefits that it has been promised. So I think there is a very serious undertaking there. And when I was in Brussels last Friday, I can tell you I spoke to some of the ambassadors of non-recognizing countries, and they understood this. It will not mean that they will immediately recognize, that they will not obstruct and object to Commission proposals to give Kosovo the benefits that I mentioned. So I think this is positive news. The second thing is, yes, surely Kosovo can put in any conditions it likes. One condition is very clear, that is that there will be no partition, there will be no reopening of status issues. And there are other red lines. But I think it is equally important that Kosovo not only looks at the negative side, the red lines, but also at the blue lines. What is it that Kosovo wants to get out of this? And I think the government has now examined and listed what it really wants to obtain. We are hopeful that a start can be made with civil registry, that civil registry documents can return to Kosovo, that we can get progress in reopening trade relations, which is very important for the economy. I mentioned that earlier. CEFTA, where Serbia takes a position which even Mr. Zanier, the special representative of the United Nations, has declared a violation of Resolution 1244. So there are a number of issues where Kosovo has an immediate interest and can only stand to benefit. And I hope you will take this into consideration when taking an overall view of the importance of this dialogue.
Thank you. We'll go to the last question here. No, usually we go with students.
Hi, my name is Sobonamuzi, I'm a junior, and my question is, in the debate between Serbia and Kosovo, the case of North Mitrovica, will it be part of those discussions?
Well, I would hope so, frankly, and I will tell you why. I think that Mitrovica should not be addressed as part of a reopening of status and perhaps, as I said earlier, as part of a petitioning plan. I think that Mitrovica should be discussed with Serbia as part of the further implementation of the other side. And I think there is something very positive that we can and should expect from this dialogue if the Kosovo delegation, and I'm sure they will do so, will insist on strengthening the rule of law in the north, reopening the gates for customs collection, improving the environment for the government to improve the socio-economic conditions of the citizens by spending money in the north. Holding elections in Mitrovica with Belgrade's cooperation, so that the hardliners in the north will not obstruct the process. I think that will be very positive. And I've been in touch with the facilitators of the European Union to try to help us move forward along these lines, because it would be a win-win situation. It would help the further implementation of the side, and therefore it would help the exit of the ICL. And it would also help the European Union in gaining access to the north and helping the north move forward in the accession process that Serbia and Kosovo will enjoy.
I would like to thank you, Mr. Pieter, for the remarkably open door students today and the readiness to answer some questions. We look forward to your next presentation.
Thank you very much.
Better.